Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have another brand new Mattel Jurassic World Dominion set. They are just flooding Walmarts and Targets all throughout the United States, but it seems pretty sporadic as some people are finding some sets, other people are finding other sets. I myself am not really finding much of anything, but I have awesome friends like Jason Litz who was able to hook me up with this set as well as quite a few others from the Dominion line, so I wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you to him for being incredibly cool and hooking me up with these sets. The crazy part is these sets are only like 2 hours probably from me, but his Walmart that he has near him, maybe 2.5 actually, but his Walmart that he has near him is like loaded with Jurassic stuff, even more than what I have acquired from, this round of stuff that he helped me get a hold of. But my areas are dead when it comes to anything Jurassic World Dominion, but at least we do have the Owen and Velociraptor Beta set here to take a look at. Our first opportunity to see what Beta looks like in hand as far as a Mattel figure goes, and I think he looks really quite adorable, or she, whatever it potentially is. But Owen, we have plenty of Owens already, but another one, I guess, won't hurt. And then we have a really cool little fox in there, which is definitely nice to see. We also have Owen's knife and weapon there, his gun. So that's pretty cool on top of everything. As far as the box art goes, pretty much your standard when it comes to the Jurassic World Dominion line. Looks just like every other box art has so far, but that means that is absolutely awesome, especially with that beautiful Rexy image up there. And you've got like a helicopter over here searching for Rexy, kind of like the prologue that we had seen where the helicopters are following Rexy through the forested area. And you can see again here on the back we have an image showing off basically what is included, as well as the other set that there is out currently with the Dilophosaurus and Claire, which will also be up for review here very soon. So let's pop this open and check it out. So here is our adorable little Velociraptor Beta. Let's see if we can get little Velociraptor Beta here to stand. It doesn't actually look like that's going to happen. Looks like Beta's got a little bit of a balancing issue. Yeah, he's really quite top-heavy, which is surprising. I normally don't have many balancing issues with Mattel figures. All right, we're going to lean him back there because right now he doesn't want to stand. But we also have Owen straight out of the packaging and on his face, as well as his rifle, the knife, and our really cool fox right there. So straight away, this set seems to be a nightmare because everything's falling over. All right, Owen will probably stand perfectly fine once I readjust his legs. Well, you would think. Hold on. We'll get him. We'll get him there. Turn the leg. There we go. Now Beta, I don't know what's going on with Beta. Beta must have like a warped leg or something. Doesn't really look like it too bad. Or my legs just aren't in a good position for Beta. Let's go ahead and try to get Beta to stand a little more upright, maybe. There we go. All right, now we got Beta standing up. And I will say that if this is meant to be a size comparison as far as the way they look in the film, which I don't believe they do, Beta is absolutely massive because compared to Owen, that is a huge Beta. But I do believe in the trailer, Beta is actually much smaller. And obviously, they don't want to create the figure the size that it would be in comparison to Owen as far as what we see on the trailer and everything, because then this Beta figure would be uber tiny. But again, the set looks really cool. I actually really like the addition of the fox. I think that was a really neat idea. Again, we don't know for sure what the scene is that we're creating here, but I'm sure once Jurassic World Dominion hits, all will be answered as far as that goes. So let's go ahead, jump straight to a closer look at all of this right now. So we will begin with Owen, and honestly, I think this is the exact same Owen that we just got in the Pursuit pack, but this time, as opposed to a red shirt, we have a blue shirt. Like, everything looks exactly the same on the figure except the coloration of the shirt. We've got, the same style jeans, we have the same boots, we've even got the area on the back for the knife, same belt, everything looks exactly the same on this Owen compared to the previous one. And actually, to show you that, there is the previous one. And now you can really see, again, as far as each figure goes, it looks exactly the same to me. The shirt's exactly the same. Everything, again, is the same. Just the coloration of the shirt is different. And that's really about it. So I don't think that we really need to go over the Owen figure too much. It's definitely a fun figure, but, not one that's crazy brand new we haven't already taken a look at here on the channel. We also have Owens Rifle right here, which looks pretty good as far as, just a really cool little extra goes. It's definitely nice, although mine is a little warped right there in the barrel area, but Maybe I could probably fix that with some warm water, but again, you can see that the rifle definitely looks good. It's nothing more than a brown coloration, so there's no real color added to it or anything, like no fine details. But it looks good again for what it is. Just right now it is horribly, horribly warped. I don't think that gun's going to work at all if he shoots it. And then we as well have the knife, just like we had in the Pursuit pack. Again, exactly the same accessory as far as that goes. The knife looks no different from the previous one. And then we have the Fox. So the Fox looks really, really good as far as like a Fox sculpt goes. Mattel nailed it. And we also have some nice detailing to the figure. You can see the nose is painted. You can also see the eyes are painted pretty nicely. We've got some white coloration there in the lower part of the lower jaw, and then down into the throat. We also have a nice light brown for the majority of the color of the Fox. You've got some brown there topping off the tips of the ears, and you have some really nice fur detail on the figure. Really has me hoping that at some point Mattel will make some like prehistoric mammals to just throw in, because obviously they just basically create whatever they want as far as different species goes. So maybe after Dominion is over, maybe we'll get some prehistoric mammals. And looking at how good the detailing is on this figure, that would definitely be something I would love to see enter the Mattel line, would be some prehistoric animals. You can also see that the brown picks up the darker brown there, transitions down on both legs. Well, all four legs, I should say, not both legs, but both sets of legs. We have the dark brown that overtakes the entire lower half of the legs, and then you can also see there's a white tip for the tail. Really, really nice looking Fox. Again, as far as like a really cool addition goes to a Mattel set, this is definitely one that's really unexpected to me, but unexpectedly beautiful. Like, they really, really did a great job on both the sculpt and paint application of that Fox. That is an awesome figure. And then we have our little Velociraptor Beta, who is probably the star of the show for this set. And you can see that as far as Beta goes, he's got some really nice detailing there in the face. A little hard to pick up on because the figure is pretty small, but there you can really see how nice the detail looks. Really quite impressive looking scale detail for the head area of Velociraptor Beta. One thing I noticed though is that we have the classic, Velociraptor blue stripe here, but the blue actually darkens once we reach this area here. As we lead up into the eye area, the blue transitions from a lighter blue to a darker blue. I don't know if that's the way it looks on Velociraptor Beta in the film, or if that's just something that Mattel added, but that is one thing that I'm picking up on immediately, is that there is difference in color in the blue stripe. You can also see we have a really nice yellow for the eye, as well as a black slit-like pupil. One thing that I'm also taking note of is maybe that just looks like a darker shade of blue, which it absolutely is, but because they used a glossy paint for that area, because you can see right where the transition is from the lighter blue to the darker blue, it goes from non-glossy to very glossy up here in the face, and obviously the gloss coat is over the eye. So I think maybe that might be part of why the coloration is different, but you can again see that the eye placement is actually really quite nice. We do have some of those darker speckles, which you can see one right there in the palette of Velociraptor Beta. If we turn it around, you can see the eye over here is actually pretty nicely placed. Not too bad. Nice to see that for sure, because we often get horribly placed eyes on Mattel figures, and I think the overall appearance to the head sculpt and everything looks great. I almost feel like this is a figure that we should have had when Jurassic World Dominion came out to show off, baby Velociraptor Blue, because it could very nicely double as a baby Velociraptor Blue. We do have an articulated jaw, as usual. Look at that beautiful gloss coat in there. The moment I opened it, that gloss coat started to shine, and that looks really good as far as the paintwork goes on the inside of the mouth. Absolutely beautiful looking. You can see the teeth are all sculpted very nicely, all painted with an off-white kind of bordering on a yellow. Pretty nice, pretty careful looking paintwork. There's no real huge sloppiness or anything in there. The tongue looks good. Again, we have a very nice gloss coat for every area on the inside of the mouth. Unfortunately, we don't have any of that coloration on the upper side of the mouth, but since the figure is so small, you almost don't even take note to that fact, because you can't really get in there too well to see the upper side of the mouth. But I really, really like the inside of the mouth of this one. I think it looks great compared to some others. Very smooth, articulated jaw as well. As we start to move down the course of the neck, you could see lots of creasing going on here in the neck of the raptor. You can also see a few more of those speckles up here on the top. But again, creasing galore as you move down the course of the neck of our Velociraptor Beta. As you move down here into the body, you can see a little bit like skin wrinkles right here at the lower part of the neck leading into the shoulder area. You can also see the arm sculpts look pretty good. Not really too much muscle definition. Honestly, they almost look a little bit thin, like they look like this little raptor could pick up some weight. He's looking a little bit thin, and we can kind of see the bone structure there in the arm, but you can see the hands look really nice. Of course, we have no painted nails in the fingers. I don't know why we wouldn't do that, but you know, that's just the way Mattel works. You can also see, though, that we do pick up an alternate tone of color here for the underside, a nice light tone of color that runs from the chest area here to the groin area, and of course tapers off. Yet again, I would have loved to have seen that run the entire course of the figure. You can see, though, that the blue stripe continues to run down the course of our Velociraptor Beta, looking really quite nice. We have some very nice scale detail. Unfortunately, we do have the DNA scan code yet again up here on the back, and it is probably the most obnoxious one yet because it overtakes pretty much the entire back of our Velociraptor Beta. Like, that is huge for some reason. I don't know why it looks so much bigger than it normally does. From the side, the figure looks excellent, but from up above, that is definitely an eyesore. As you move down into the thigh, you can see again some very nice muscle definition as well as some nice scale detail. You've got the kneecap really nicely defined there in the front of the leg. The calf muscle also nicely defined here in the back of the leg. You can see more of those speckles, kind of subtle looking speckles as you move down the course of the leg. Once you reach the foot sculpt looks pretty good. Of course, it's oversized, but it doesn't look bad. Very nice scoots down the toes, and we do have painted nails on the feet with a nice glossy dark gray, which is a huge plus. But yeah, of course, I figured there was no paint on the dew claw. That just never happens. And then as we lead out the length of the tail, you can see that that blue continues to move along there. We'll match that up a little bit better. Move along the tail, and then we lead out here to a really nice curve in the tail. Curves in an upward stance, sort of, and then down near the end. Nice short tail. Probably could have been a little bit longer, but not really a big downside or anything. The blue does cut off here in the tail as opposed to running the entire length out. And then as far as this side goes, you know, you can see that the blue doesn't run up and over the eye, and if this is a clone of Velociraptor Blue, that's exactly how it would look, because blue's coloration doesn't run up there over the eye on this side, so they did a good job as far as that goes. You can see that as far as the blue stripe goes, we also have the white outline that runs the course of the blue stripe, and you can see as far as the sculpt and everything goes and paintwork, everything looks pretty much the same over here as it did on the initial side. There's not very much of a difference between this side and the opposing side. The only real difference is the feet, and the feet are kind of like just, I don't know, the positioning of the feet and the legs. You can see there's a different curve for each leg, but the feet are just a mystery to me as far as how they want me to place it to stand it up, because once I stand it up, I really have a hard time finding that sweet spot for it to balance. But again, really quite nice figure overall. I'm definitely a fan of this Velociraptor Beta and really happy to have one of these in the line. And on top of being a really cool Velociraptor Beta figure, again, it can double as a Velociraptor Blue as far as the baby version goes, or pretty much any other style raptor from Jurassic Park or Jurassic World history. You've got plenty of options as far as repaints go for this really cool little baby raptor figure. As far as articulation goes on Velociraptor Beta, again, we do have the articulated jaw. We stated that before. It works really nicely. We also have an articulated neck where we can go down, go up fairly high, but not super high. Can definitely swivel as well. So pretty much the standard as far as neck articulation goes for a Mattel Raptor. You also have arm articulation forward and back and out away from the body, unlike the Capture and Crush vehicle Raptor. And then we have leg articulation, which is a little bit stiff but can move, and then a swivel tail on top of everything. Now he's not going to stand. The fox, nope. Boy, this one's a tough one to find that nice positioning to stand. The fox has no articulation at all, totally stagnant as far as that figure goes. And then Owen has all the same articulation that the last Owen did, and probably the same articulation that every Owen has had so far. You have neck articulation. Also, arm articulation can go up, down, out, away from the body, totally swivel if you choose to. Same deal with the elbow. You can also move the elbow very nicely. That can as well swivel, so you can snap Owen's arm if you choose to get grotesque. And then you also have hip articulation, can swivel or go completely around if you want to get demonic on him. And then you can also, again, articulate the hips as well as the knees. And the knees as well can swivel, so you can totally break his leg if you would choose to. So as far as destroying and killing your Owen figure, you've got lots of options. And then we've also, again, got the weapons. As far as a size goes, Owen is going to land himself right in the 3 3/4 inch range, because that's the size of pretty much every human figure, unless you get, you know, a smaller child version like Tim or Maisie or something like that. But as far as Velociraptor Beta, this is going to be a hard one because I can't get Beta to stand very well, or well, not even very well. I can't get her to stand, him to stand, whatever it is, at all. Thank you, PNSO stand, because Beta doesn't want to stand. For a length, you were looking at about 4.5 inches or around 11.5 centimeters. And then for a height in the position that it's in currently, about 2 3/4 inches or 7 centimeters, maybe a little hair over. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line here, kind of mixed in with our Owen and Velociraptor Beta set. And you've got a pretty good idea, I think, as far as the size goes here in comparison to these figures. You probably already had a good idea just because you could see Beta next to Owen, who Owen, fits right in the same size range as all of the previous human figures from the Mattel line. But if not, hopefully these figures here will help again for a better comparison. And then for another comparison, we have the recent Extreme Damage Velociraptor Blue in comparison to Velociraptor Beta. And you can get, again, a pretty good idea of how those two size up to each other. Definitely not accurate to the way we see them in Dominion, but it still looks neat to have them both together. And you have now, if you have the Pursuit Pack and this set, you have the entire family of Velociraptor Blue with the, I guess, baby clone, whatever Velociraptor Beta is. You've got them both once you buy, again, both of these sets. So this Owen and Velociraptor Beta set is definitely another really fun release for the Jurassic World Dominion line. And it's awesome to have a Beta figure. Again, a new character for Jurassic World Dominion. So anytime we can get a new character entering the line, that's awesome. Even better when we get a new dinosaur entering the line. And what I really like, again, about this Velociraptor Beta figure is the fact that it can double as a baby Velociraptor Blue, which it pretty much is already anyway. Or, you can repaint it to look like any of the previous Raptors from the Jurassic series. And I can assure you I will definitely be getting more of these in the future and repainting as Lost World Raptors or JP3 Raptors or even Jurassic Park Raptors because I just have to. That's the way it works. And then as far as the figure goes when it comes to its overall appearance, it looks really good. Looks pretty much like Beta looks in the trailer from what we've seen so far. And again, paintwork-wise, it's also really quite nice. Aside from the fact that we don't have painted nails on the hands or the dew claw, that's one thing that I really would have liked to have seen on this one. But unfortunately, no dice. And the lighter coloration on the underside running the course of the entire underside would have also been nice. But overall, I think the figure looks good, sculpt and paint-wise. It is definitely a huge downside that it will not stand. I don't know if that's just mine. I don't know if others stand better if I do get another one in the future, which I definitely will as long as they continue to be readily available. To repaint, then, if I get one that stands better, I'll probably replace this one with the one that stands better and then use this one for a repaint or something like that. But the figure, again, as a whole, is pretty darn nice, just it unfortunately doesn't stand very well. And just because I forgot to actually show you guys during the review, here is the scan code for the Velociraptor Beta, again, for you to add to your collection. But as far as the Fox goes, the Fox is awesome. I really love the Fox. I think it's a great addition to the collection, and just in general, a really cool, unexpected addition to the Jurassic World Dominion line. It's unfortunate, though, that we got a fox before we ever got a goat for our T-Rex to eat. Very strange, but still pretty cool to have a fox, and the fox is actually sculpted beautifully and painted really nicely as well, which is definitely impressive to say when it comes to a Mattel figure. The Owen is the exact same Owen that we had in the Pursuit Pack, just with a blue shirt rather than a red. Still a really nice figure, definitely another cool version of Owen, and we have a plethora of Owens already, but it's nice to have a Dominion-specific version on top of everything in this set. And then we have the really cool weapons, which, definitely makes for some pretty cool diorama possibilities for your figures. So as a whole, this is definitely an awesome set from Mattel and one that I really recommend picking up when you do in fact encounter it. So make sure you check your local Walmart because that's where Jason Litz found this for me, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.